Good morning to all of you. I welcomes to all in our lecture series on solid state physics. Today we are going to be discuss about geometrical structure factor. In our last two classes we have been discussed in detail about Van Laue equations. Van Laue equations are the Van Laue equations, or we can say that these equations is nothing but are the so-called conditions for constructive interference of diffracted beams. Laue has been considered that individual atoms are going to be scattered the X-ray beam which will be incident over the two atoms. He has been considered two atoms, and from this he has been derived the conditions or the so-called Laue's equations are this. However, if we are going to follow the Bragg's treatment or Bragg's law, Bragg's has been considered the planes, the atomic planes which are placed with a atomic interplanar distance will be d. Then how the planes are going to be reflect or scattered the X-ray, and at last we got the famous Bragg's condition, that is 2d sin theta equal to n lambda. But here in case of Laue, he has been considered that individual atom has to be scattered and their corresponding condition for constructive interference of these two rays are going to be constructive interference if they have to follow these equations. Okay, and using this Van Laue treatment or Van Laue equation, we have been discussed in our last class the atomic scattering factor. Atomic scattering factor in detail I have been discussed in the last class. So before we have to start the geometrical structure factor today in our today class, I will suggest that at least you go through that two previous videos belongs to Van Laue treatment and atomic scattering factor, because this geometrical factor discussions and derivations is fully related with atomic scattering factor and your Van Laue treatment. Okay, in our atomic scattering factor we have been found that the last expression of the atomic scattering factor is this one. In detail I have been discussed in the last video. You can go through that video. The atomic scattering factor of a atom, we found this is the final expression, or we can say that the general expression. With example, we have been found that atomic scattering factor will be equal to atomic number, and here the physical significance of atomic scattering factor is nothing but, suppose this will be the atom, and how much it has to be scattered, or amplitude of radiation, scattered radiation is how much with comparatively of an electron. So this will be the definition, we can say amplitude of radiation scattered from an atom with respect to scattered by an electron. That means overall you just imagine that suppose this will be the atom and how much radiation or how much intensity when it will be scattered the beams. So these are the two beams. What will be the intensity after constructive interference? What will be the interference of this scattered beam when the incident X-ray is going to be interact with a atom? Okay, finally we found that the maximum amplitude after constructive interference between two diffracted beams or scattered beams, it will be the atomic number. With an example we have been found that it will be, when we validate the general expression of atomic scattering factor, we found that that atomic scattering factor is nothing but charge stored inside the atom is approximately equal to electronic charge, means or atomic number. So hence we can conclude that atomic scattering factor or amplitude of these scattered waves after constructive interference is directly depends upon the number of electrons present in this atom. Okay, now this will be useful whenever we are going to be discuss the geometrical structure factor. Okay, so before we have to start the geometrical structure factor, I want to say to you that this structure factor, whatever we are going to be derive, that is useful very much to find the structure of the unit cell. So we know that suppose we have to consider simple cubic crystal structure, then it's a simple cubic crystal structure. If we are going to consider, it has three type of lattice structures. One is simple cubic, another is body center cubic. In case of simple cubic, only atoms will be present at the corner, but in case of body center, at the corner we can found one atom, and also one atom will be at the center. And also another lattice structure for the simple cubic crystal structure is face center cubic, means at each and every face one atom will be present, and also at the corner. So these are the, if we are going to consider one example, that is simple cubic. In case of simple cubic, three type of lattice structure also possible. So using this geometrical structure factor, we can determine that the unit cell is simple cubic or body center cubic or face center cubic. That is the useful, in this way the structure factor useful to find out the arrangement of the atom, or we can say the geometrical arrangement or geometrical structure of unit cell. So let's start our discussion. So in our previous topic, we have been discussed the atomic scattering factor, which represent the amplitude or intensity of diffracted or scattered X-ray beam from an atom, whatever I have been discussed just now. Here one thing I want to say to you, many books they have been written that diffracted X-ray beam, this is some books are written scattered beam, some books are written these beams are diffracted beam. So either any word it will become to you that you have to understand that this is the diffracted or scattered beam is these beams after interacted with the atom or with a crystal. But a crystal is made up of various type of atoms in a unit cell, whatever I discussed. Suppose we have to consider a crystal having the unit cell is simple cubic, maybe some other crystal having the body center cubic, some other crystal have face center cubic. So crystal, a particular of a certain crystal is made up of various type of atoms in the unit cell. So intensity of diffracted X-ray, diffracted or scattered, okay, diffracted. So in this note, somewhere I have written diffracted, somewhere I have written scattered. So there is no issue, should not be confused. Okay, here also you can write diffracted or scattered, no problem. Okay, of diffracted X-ray from a crystal not only depends upon the atomic scattering factor. Suppose we have to consider the body center cubic. Suppose X-ray is incident over this unit cell. So here if we have to consider only the atomic scattering factor, then we have to consider the one atom or two atom is going to be considered for the interaction of the X-ray and corresponding the diffracted rays. If we are going to consider the atomic scattering factor, sorry, I told wrong, somewhat wrongly, means if we have to consider atomic scattering factor, then we have to consider only one atom. Only one atom, how much it has to be diffract the X-ray. But the crystal or the unit cell having many atoms, contains many atoms in different arrangement. Suppose simple cubic, this is one arrangement. Body center cubic having the different arrangement. FCC also different arrangement. Same thing it has been written here. So intensity of diffracted or scattered X-ray from a crystal not only depends only atomic scattering factor. If we have to consider only atomic scattering factor, this will be give the result that how much diffracted beam has been diffracted or scattered from one atom only. So here, as unit cell have different type of atoms can be present and with different arrangements, so only atomic scattering factor could not be useful. Not only depends upon the atomic scattering factor of the various atoms involved, but also the contents of the unit cell. Suppose we have to consider this unit cell FCC. So only if we have to incident, if the X-ray is going to be incidents over this FCC and diffracted, only atomic scattering factor could not be useful to determine this scattered, to find out the amplitude or intensity of these scattered radiations, because in these unit cells many atoms are there having different arrangement. If I am going to compare FCC with BCC, different arrangement will be there. And in case of some crystals, here at the corner will be one type of atom. Suppose it will be sodium will be there, and at the, suppose I am giving an example that sodium at the corner and at the face Cl will be there. So sometimes in a unit cell different arrangements we can found and with different atoms. So that things it has been written, but also on the content of the unit cell, that is first on the number of the atoms, how many numbers will be present in the unit cell, type it may be simple cubic or body center cubic or face center cubic or hexagonal or rhombic or whatever, the all the 14 lattice structure I am going to be consider. Okay, any type of structure can be, and distribution of atoms within the cell. Here you see distribution is different as compared with BCC and FCC. Okay, clear? As atomic number is different for different atoms, then F, this is important line, try to be listen carefully. As atomic number is different for different atoms, then F, this is the atomic scattering factor, will be different for different atoms. What I just discussed, that atomic scattering factor value, maximum value is equivalent to its atomic number. So suppose in this FCC structure, at the corner we have sodium atom. Suppose this is example, this is the example I am telling. Okay, so suppose sodium will be placed at the corner and chlorine at the face center. So sodium and chlorine have different Z value. Z value of atomic number of sodium is not equal to atomic number of Cl. So when the incident X-ray interacted with the chlorine, how much diffracted beam or whatever the intensity of the diffracted beam is not equal to the diffracted beam when diffracted from the sodium atom. So suppose this is a chlorine atom and this is a sodium atom. So same intensity of X-ray is going to be, if it will be fall or incident over sodium and X-ray, sodium and chlorine, then the diffracted intensity from the chlorine and from the sodium, these are not equal. So maybe so as atomic scattering factor is proportional to with Z, here Sodium having the atomic number is 11. Chlorine have atomic number is 17. So hence this intensity, the scattered beams intensity of the chlorine, suppose I will write intensity of chlorine and this is the intensity of sodium. So obviously intensity scattered beam from the chlorine having the intensity ICl will be greater than that of the INA, because atomic scattering factor will be more for Cl than Na, because chlorine have atomic number 17 and sodium have atomic number 11. Okay, that's why it has been written that as atomic number is different for different atoms, then if atomic scattering factor will be different for different atoms, so that scattered or diffracted X-rays from different atoms of the unit cell may or may not be in phase with each other. So if we have to consider this FCC lattice where Na, sodium atom, is at corner and chlorine atom is at phase center, so whatever the intensity diffracted from the sodium, the intensity diffracted from the chlorine is different. So obviously if the intensity is different, means they don't have not in a phase, that means they don't have path difference will be 0, means they have some path difference, so they have also some phase difference, so they could not have the phase difference will be 0. So therefore it is important to know the effect of various atoms present in the unit cell on the total scattering amplitude in a given direction. So now here we can conclude one thing, that instead we have to consider only atomic scattering factor. The various atoms which will be present in the unit cell, to know about individual scattering factor and total scattering factor by considering all the atoms, all the various atoms which will be present in the unit cell, is important as compared with atomic scattering factor of individual atom. So so here total atomic scattering amplitude is, so hence total scattering amplitude F, this is written as capital F H dash K dash L dash. For reflection, H dash K dash L dash is defined as the ratio of the amplitude of radiation scattered by the entire unit cell to the amplitude of the radiation scattered by a point electron placed in the origin. This is scattered, mistakenly written, this is scattered. So here what is the definition we found of the total scattering factor, that is the total scattering amplitude. The total scattering amplitude, if we are going to be consider F for the reflection HKL, will be defined as the ratio of amplitude of radiation scattered by entire unit cell. Entire unit cell means, suppose here we have to consider the same phase center cubic. Suppose we are going to consider the phase center cubic, this one, and Na as at the corner and Cl at the phase center, Cl, and this is Na. So when the X-ray falls on this unit cell, so total scattering amplitude, that addition of Cl and Na is nothing but amplitude of radiation scattered by the entire unit cell. The entire unit cell we have to consider to the ratio of and ratio of amplitude of radiation scattered by entire unit cell to the amplitude of radiation scattered by a single point electron placed at the origin. So how much this unit cell has been scattered divided by, if we have to consider a point electron will be at the center, how much it has to be scattered. So ratio between the unit cell scattering divided by one electron scattering. This will be nothing but the so called total scattering amplitude. Okay, so mathematically it can be written as Fj e to the power I phi j. So what is the meaning of Fj? Suppose Fj represents the individual scattering factor, individual atomic scattering factor. Okay, the Fj is the individual atomic scattering factor. Suppose this atom, this atom, this atom, this atom, this atom, the individual scattering amplitude of atomic scattering factor. So this Fj represents is the atomic scattering factor of jth atom. If we have to consider the summation over j, then it is represents the summation of all the atomic scattering factor of the unit cell. Okay, and e to the power I phi j is this is nothing but your phase difference between the radiation scattered from jth atom of the unit cell and scattered from the electron placed at the origin. So if we have to consider only one atom that we have been discussed in our last class, in our atomic scattering factor, whenever we have been discussed, here is one electron, here is the charge, and what is the difference between the so called amplitude is difference is this one. So for this will be the represents the amplitude of the point electron, and this I kx omega t this much plus I phi dash, another phase difference part has been added. So similarly this e to the power I phi j is nothing but the individual phase difference of individual atoms. Suppose we have to consider this atom, this is the number 1 atom. So this has F1 having the atomic scattering factor. Suppose electron will be here, electron the phase difference between this electron and this atom will be phi 1. So again F2, so what will be the this F can be written as what, written as F1 e to the power I phi 1. Likewise for, suppose this will be the atom is 2, likewise for 2 it will be written as atomic scattering factor F2, and the phase difference part between electron and this atom will be e to the power I phi 2, like that. So if we have to consider all the atom, then I am going to be write in the summation format, that will be summation over j fj e to the power I phi j. Okay, so here fj is the atomic scattering factor of jth atom, phi j is the phase difference between the radiation scattered from the jth atom. Jth atom means you can consider either 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, any atom in this unit cell, and the summation over this one will be give you the total scattering amplitude. Okay, this is nothing but the atomic scattering factor means what? Atomic scattering factor means what will the scattering amplitude from one atom, what will be the scattering amplitude from one atom, whatever we have been discussed, that will be f. So total scattering amplitude will be the summation over all the atoms and considering the phase difference between the atom and its corresponding electron. Okay, so phi j is the phase difference between the radiation scattered from the jth atom of the unit cell and that scattered from the electron placed at the origin. Clear? This is I given the equation number 1. The equation number 1, that is summation, represents about all the atoms present in the unit cell, what we have been discussed here. Okay, now let uj, vj, wj represent the coordinates of jth atom, so we can write rj. Let suppose this will be the one atom, this is the electron at the center, this is the electron at the center. Okay, this is one atom, suppose this is jth atom, and its coordinate is we have been assumed, or we have been considered this is the jth atom, this is, and this will be uj, vj and wj. Suppose this is the coordinate of this one. So from this electron to this atom, this will be taken as rj vector. Okay, very similar if we have to consider this one, whenever we have been consider the atomic scattering factor. This is the electron, this is the charge, this is the r vector, or the distance from the center to the charge, or electron to the charge. Okay, this very similar way also we have been consider the Van Law treatment. Here one atom, here is another atom, the distance between B and A will be r, and or vectorial it will be represented as r vector. So in this case, in our this geometrical structure factor, here we have been consider u, v, w, uj, vj, wj will be the, suppose this will be the, suppose we are going to consider this atom and this will be the electron. So this atom have the so called coordinate will be uj, vj and wj. Very similar figure. If you can watch carefully, if you have to watch carefully this video, then you can correlate your notes and or whatever we have been discussed in our last two videos. So I will be suggest to you, watch carefully. So this will be the electron, this is the jth atom, suppose this is the jth atom, and its coordinate suppose uj, vj and wj, and from the electron is at the center, from the electron to this atom the so called position vector is rj, having the distance is rj mod, this much. So here rj vector, rj will be equal to uja, vjv and wjc, because a, b, c are nothing but the so called unit vectors or unit translation vectors along x axis, y axis and z axis. But previously we have been found from Law's condition, this one, from the Law's condition we found that a dot n is nothing but h dash lambda. This equation I am going to use here. Previously we found a dot n is equal to h dash lambda. Here n is nothing but what? Normal vector, or it is called as scattering normal, and we know that scattering normal is always perpendicular, or always we can say normal to the scattering plane. Okay, so I have to write once again here that here n is scattering normal. Okay, here n is nothing but scattering normal. Now a dot n equal to h dash lambda from Law's condition, b dot n we found k dash lambda, and c dot n we found l dash lambda. So now r dot n, if we are going to do, then what we are going to found? uja, what is the vector we have been considered, this one r vector, this will be this one dot n. Okay, now if we are going to do the dot product, we know that a dot n is h dash lambda, so it will be uj h dash lambda plus Vj k dash lambda plus Wj L dash lambda L dash lambda. That implies R dot Rj dot n will be equal to, take lambda as a common, and we are going to get in bracket Uj h dash plus Vj k dash plus omega j L dash. Let this is equation number 1. Now by putting equation number 2 in equation number 1, what we are going to get? This is the equation number 1. We are going to be put the value of equation number 2 in equation number 1. In equation number 1, because in this equation number 1 we have been also written in the form of e to the power, because we know that phi j is nothing but the phase factor, that is 2 pi by lambda r dot n. So it will be 2 pi by lambda rj dot n. R is any arbitrary position vector between one arbitrary atom with electron. So if we have to put r dot n value in the equation number 1, we can found that summation over j fj e to the power I 2 pi by lambda into this, all the terms are exponent to, okay, exponent of this term. This is not multiplied with this one, okay. So here I to the I into 2 pi by lambda into this one, okay. That implies f h dash k dash l dash will be equal to summation over j fj e to the I, lambda got cancel, uj h dash plus vj k dash plus omega j l dash. Let this is equation number 3. For identity, this is our equation number 3. So this is our equation number 3. So here, if I am going to be expand this equation, then it will be written as what? F1 into e to the power I 2 pi of coordinate of jth atom. Suppose this is u1 h1 plus v1 k1 k dash plus w1 l dash, suppose first atom. Then f2 into e to the power I 2 pi, then it will be u2 h dash and v2 k dash plus w2 l dash, like that. Okay. So here, if we have to consider all the individual atoms, whatever we have to considered as the FCC lattice, that let all the atoms are sodium atom. So if all the atoms will be sodium atom, then they have one unique atomic scattering factor. So this atom will be the same atomic scattering factor, and this one will be the same, because all the atoms are same. So if all the atoms will be the same in a unit cell, for like that it is written for identical atoms. So FJs means F1, F2, then F3 will become, and into e to the power like that, F3, F4 will be the same. Let this is all the f of FJs means F1, F2, F3 all will be, let that is F. Okay, let that is F. So now the above equation number 3 can be written as F into S. So here S is nothing but summation over J e to the power 2 pi I uj h dash plus vj k dash plus omega j l dash, and this S is nothing but called as geometrical structure factor. It depends upon geometrical arrangement of the atoms within the unit cell. Okay, so by using this geometrical structure factor, we can find out whether that unit cell is a simple cubic or body center cubic or your face center cubic, or any lattice structure can be found out by using geometrical structure factor. Another simple things somewhat extend over on the base of geometrical structure factor. This is, we know that the intensity of radiation. So here F, what we found that this F is nothing but what we found. F here we define that total scattering amplitude. This is the total scattering amplitude. That means here incident X-ray incidents and here X-ray scatters. The total scattering amplitude is nothing but this one. And the last expression of this F H dash K dash L dash we found is this one. This is the generalized expression. This is the generalized expression. Means considered as in the atom, maybe different atoms having the different atomic numbers is going to be present. If the unit cell have identical atoms, then this equation can be written as this one. So here S is nothing but is your geometrical structure factor. So F H K L is nothing but one amplitude of the scattered radiation from the unit cell. From the unit cell, this is the scattered radiation. So if that is the amplitude, so we know that, hence we know that the intensity of radiation is proportional to the square of its amplitude. Hence intensity of the diffracted beam will be written as how much? Will be F mod square, that will be F star, and F, because F is a complex quantity. Okay, F is a complex quantity, so F mod square will be nothing but F star into F. Here F is a complex conjugate of F. So F here, F in cosine and sine format, if we are going to be write these things I am going to write in cosine and sine format. It will be cos 2 pi of this much plus I sine 2 pi of this much. So this will be, F will be summation over j Fj cos 2 pi this much plus I summation over j Fj sine 2 pi this much, because it is e to the I 2 pi is this much. Okay, simple thing. So intensity will be how much? Intensity will be mod square, that will be, or this is this we can say that, suppose this is the complex number we have is equal to x plus iy. So z mod will be how much? Z mod is nothing but x square plus y square. Simple. So here this square, this much square plus this much square is nothing but f mod square. So this term is written over here and its square, plus this much term written over here square. This is equation number 5. The above discussion, all the discussion here, this intensity, finding the intensity here from the amplitude is most important, because using this method, using the geometrical structure factor and how we calculated the intensity, by considering these two, we are going to be determine the structure of the crystal. So in our next class, we are going to be discuss what are the conditions that we are going to be face the structure or the unit cell from which the intensity we are going to be found. From that intensity, so this is our general expression of the intensity. So from this general expression, we can determine whether this is simple cubic, whether this is body center cubic, whether this is face center cubic. So in detail that we are going to discuss these things in our next class. So for today class will be this much. We have to stop over here. You watch this video carefully, and if any doubt you can ask me. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.